Gentlemen, let me ask you something straight. Have you ever finished an intimate moment and thought, did she really enjoy that or was she just being polite? If you've ever wondered, you're not alone. In fact, studies show that nearly 70% of women admit they've faked it at least once. Not because they don't care about you, but because they don't always feel comfortable telling you what they actually want. But here's the shocking part. When 10,000 women were asked in a landmark international survey what they truly craved in bed, their answers were not what most men think. And today, I'm going to break it down for you step by step. So stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what women desire most but rarely say out loud and how to bring it into your relationship starting tonight. Before we dive in, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I love seeing this community of men from all over the world connecting and learning together. Now, let's clear up one of the biggest myths right away. Most men believe women are mostly focused on size, technique, or stamina. You've probably heard that phrase, it's not the size of the boat, it's the motion of the ocean. Well, it turns out that's only half true. What women actually crave goes far deeper than physical mechanics. Across thousands of studies and decades of sexual health research, the number one factor in a woman's satisfaction isn't your physique, your height, or how many tricks you know. It's whether she feels desired, safe, and emotionally connected while being touched. Let that sink in for a moment. Biologically, when a woman feels secure and genuinely wanted, her brain releases oxytocin and dopamine hormones that open the body to arousal. On the flip side, if she feels judged, rushed, or ignored, her nervous system shifts into stress mode, shutting arousal down like a light switch. So the myth that women only want a man who's a machine in bed, completely false. The truth, they crave a man who makes them feel seen, cherished, and desired. For those of you new here, hi, I'm Dr. Nora Hayes, a board-certified urologist and men's health specialist with 7 years of clinical experience. I've worked with thousands of men and couples, helping them rebuild confidence, intimacy, and satisfaction. And I'll tell you right now, the gap between what men think women want versus what they actually want is enormous. That's why I created this channel to give you the real science-based answers in plain language so you can stop second-guessing and start thriving in your health and relationships. All right, let's count down the 5 biggest desires women confessed in that global survey. And I'll explain the biology, the emotions, and the practical side of each. Desire number 5, emotional safety before physical passion. Here's a truth most men underestimate. Arousal for women doesn't start in the body, it starts in the brain. Biologically, a woman's limbic system, the emotional center of the brain, has to feel safe before her body can fully engage. If she's tense, distracted, or worried, blood flow to her pelvic region is limited, which makes arousal harder to achieve. Emotionally safety means she doesn't feel judged, rushed, or pressured. Practically, it looks like slowing down, reading her cues, asking simple questions like, do you like this? Or do you want me to keep going? And actually listening to the answers. And when she feels that safety, that's when the next craving kicks in. Desire number 4, the desire to feel actively wanted. Gentlemen, this one is huge. Women said over and over, I want to feel that he wants me, not just intimacy, but me. Why does this matter? Biologically, when she senses genuine desire, her body releases dopamine, which primes the brain for pleasure. Emotionally, being told, I can't stop thinking about you or you drive me crazy, melts away insecurity and creates a sense of power. Practically, this means using your voice. Don't just stay silent. Say what you feel. Simple lines like, you turn me on so much, or I love how you feel in my arms, are far more powerful than any fancy technique. But let's be real. This is where most men hesitate. Why? Because talking in bed feels awkward. But trust me, the men who master this skill have women who come back again and again because they feel both physically and emotionally lit up. Desire number 3, variety and surprise. Now, let's bust another myth. Women don't want a perfect script. They want variety. Biologically, the brain is wired for novelty. Dopamine spikes when something feels fresh or unexpected. That's why changing pace, angle, or even location can feel thrilling. Emotionally, variety communicates effort. It says, I care enough to try something new for you. Practically, this doesn't mean acrobatics or complicated positions. It can be as simple as whispering in her ear instead of speaking out loud, or changing from gentle kisses to deeper ones at just the right moment. Here's a tip. If you want to surprise her, change just one element at a time: speed, pressure, or position. That single shift can feel like an entirely new experience. Desire number two: clear, confident communication. You might think communication in bed is all about explicit words, but here's what women actually crave: clarity and confidence. Biologically, clarity reduces uncertainty, which lowers stress hormones like cortisol and lets arousal flow naturally. Emotionally, when you give feedback or ask for hers, it builds trust. Practically, communication can be as simple as saying yes right there when she's doing something amazing, or slower, just like that when you want to guide her. Here's the mistake many men make: they stay silent and hope she'll read their mind. But silence often gets misread as disinterest. Your voice, on the other hand, becomes a bridge. Desire number one: aftercare and affection. Now we've reached the number one craving, the thing women said they desire most but often don't ask for. It's not technique, it's not stamina, it's what happens after the climax: affection and reassurance. Biologically, women release oxytocin, the bonding hormone, after climax. Without physical touch or emotional connection afterward, that oxytocin surge can actually flip into sadness or insecurity. Emotionally, after R communicates, "You're not just a body, I value you." Practically, this can be as simple as holding her close, brushing her hair back, whispering, "I loved being with you," or staying present instead of rolling over and grabbing your phone. Gentlemen, if you want to stand out, this is the habit that sets you apart. Because while most men think intimacy ends with climax, the truth is, for women, the most important part often comes right after. So, how do you put this into practice without feeling overwhelmed? Here's a simple three-step plan. Start with presence before intimacy. Take 30 seconds to breathe and focus on her, not your performance. Use one phrase per phase: appreciation early, feedback during, desire at the peak, and affection after. That's it. Practice alone first. If speaking in bed feels awkward, rehearse a few lines by yourself. Say them slowly on an exhale until they feel natural in your mouth. Do this consistently, and you'll be amazed at how much more confident, connected, and satisfying your experiences become. And let me pause here to reassure you: if this feels new or uncomfortable, that doesn't mean you're behind. It means you're human. Most men were never taught this. In fact, many were actively discouraged from talking about intimacy, but it's never too late to learn. Whether you're 30, 50, or 70, you can still build new skills, create deeper connections, and experience more satisfying intimacy than you ever thought possible. So here's the bottom line: women don't crave perfection, they crave connection. They crave being desired, surprised, reassured, and held. And you right now already have everything you need to give that, not in your size, not in your stamina, but in your presence, your words, and your care. If this video resonated with you, do me a favor: hit like, subscribe, and share this with a friend who could use a boost of confidence. And in the comments, tell me which of these 5 desires surprised you the most. I love reading your thoughts and stories. Remember, age is not the end of vitality. With the right habits, you can bring comfort, freedom, and confidence back into your intimate life. You deserve that. She deserves that. And together, you can have it. I'm Dr. Kate Miller. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next